What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Couple on Fire podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking with marriage experts, Jay and Laura Laffoon. That's coming up
right now.
Are you a Christian and you are looking to take your faith, your family, and your future to the next level?
Then this is the channel for you.
Man, are we excited for this interview today. Christy and I had an awesome opportunity to go to a marriage conference about a month ago now.
October 10th.
October 10th. So that was exactly 1 month ago, which was kind of funny, ironic. And it was in Mackinac City, right on the island, actually. And it was really something that was transformative and so special to us to be able to do that. We've never actually done anything like that before.
No, it's so much fun.
And it was so much fun. But
even in COVID.
Even in COVID times. And, you know, it was really awesome because we got to meet this incredible couple. And they were the ones that were actually hosting the event. And it's Jay and Laura Laffoon. And you know, it was just really cool to be able to see how awesome it is to be, you know, they've been doing these events for 25 years and to still see how on fire they are about marriage and about God. And so we really, you know, we looked at it as an opportunity to reach out to them and see if they would be willing to be on here and be interviewed today. So we're excited for this.
Yeah, and we really didn't get to meet them. I mean, they took their pictures with us, like with me. Like I ran up to them on 2 different days individually and was like, I'm a crazy person. Like, take me. And they did. But now we actually got to meet them, and that was a lot more fun. Because, you know, when you're at the event, you're like, oh, my gosh, they're like celebrities, you know.
Starstruck.
But they're super down-to-earth, funny, great people.
They are. So, with further ado, we want to introduce you to Jay and Laura Laffoon. All right, welcome, Jay and Laura Laffoon. How are you guys doing today?
We are wonderful. Great. How are you?
We are fantastic. You know, it's so exciting to have.
Sound effects.
Yeah. It's so exciting, though, to have what we consider celebrities here on our show.
You guys are celebrities.
You know, going to you guys' conference recently.
Mind. That's what we are.
Going to you guys' conference recently really was a real life changer, game changer for Christy and I in our marriage about how important it is.
We're going to make an annual thing.
We are going to. I know you guys do it 2 times a year. We've seen that. So maybe we'll do 2 times a year. So let our viewers know, if they don't know who you are, do us a favor. Give our viewers just a little bit of an idea about who you guys are.
Well, we're Jay and Laura Laffoon, and we've been doing marriage ministry for, oh my goodness, like 25 years now.
Yeah.
We started when we were 12, okay? But we're what people call us as marriage edutainers. We educate using entertainment. Entertainment is the voice of our culture. Everyone wants to be entertained, and so we use music, we use comedy, and in the midst of all that, we weave in biblical truth about marriage. And what it does is the laughter, the humor softens everybody up, and then boom, we hit you with some solid biblical teaching, and that's a lot of fun.
We wouldn't want to do anything that wasn't fun.
That's right.
That's what we do.
We actually designed our conference years ago as something that we would want to go to, you know.
Yeah.
We don't want to go to listen to talking heads, you know, tell us the 85 things we're doing wrong in marriage. Mm-hmm. We want to go be encouraged to do the things that are right in marriage. So that's who we are.
Yeah, I love that because when Christy and I went, we didn't know what to expect, right? So we're like, hey, it's in Mackinac Island. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Mackinac? And when we went, we weren't real sure what to expect, but you guys made it so. Number one, you're just it's something that God's really just, you know, really given you talent at, and you do it so naturally, but you put so much fun into it. Where marriage, usually when people go to a conference, they're uncomfortable. So you guys really made it a lot of fun.
It was not uncomfortable at all. And I have never been to the Grand Hotel. He hasn't either.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that was awesome. Being able to go to that.
It really is
amazing. It's an amazing place, and it
just
it sparks the romance. It kind of takes you back, you slow down automatically when you step right off the boat onto the island. You just kind of go, oh, there's no car. I have to walk. I have, you know, it's just a different setting there at Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
And what we really try and create there is an experience, you know, an experience that people won't forget, an experience that people won't want to repeat. You know, it's almost like Christmas for your marriage, in that it's something that
Christmas for your marriage. That's a new one.
Oh, that's a new one.
I
That
like
is.
that.
Better write it down.
But you know, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be delighted. You're going to feel that that connection as a couple because you're away together at a romantic destination, investing in your marriage. And so that whole experience is what really draws people back year after year.
Yeah, I think it's effective because we went, you know, and we are 7 years into our own marriage, and we found that we're like, oh, we definitely want to come back. Like this is something that's really lit us on fire. I mean, we call ourselves a couple on fire, but we feel like, doing something like that really made a huge difference in us.
Well, it's not even just that though, too. You guys have created a community. Like I said, was so many couples there that have been coming for like 15, 20 years. And all of them are so quick to embrace everyone, like standing in line together, or we're out dining together, waiting for the food, the carriage ride, like I said. I mean, people, as soon as you tell them I'm here for the conference, they're like, oh my gosh, I've been coming for 20 years. How long have you been together? Like everyone is so friendly. And it's your community of people that was like that. So that's what I love too.
Well, and one of the things we wanted to do, and I don't want this to sound sexist, but I wanted to create a marriage conference that men would go, I'm not getting beat up. I'm not, going to have to sit here till I cry. I'm going to have fun with my best friend. Yeah. And we're going to do it upright at a wonderful place like Grand Hotel. So that's how we got started. 1996 was our first one. So 2021 is going to be our 25th anniversary. Yeah. Like I said, we were 12 when we got started. So
go this way.
There you go.
You're younger than us. So I know you guys have a couple exciting things coming up, and I want to let everybody know. First off, let's talk about this. Tell our viewers a little bit about this.
Well, this is our newest book.
Yes, this is our newest book. And actually, to be honest with you, we wrote this over a year ago and we totally forgot about it. We just write books. We have a Broad Street Publishing, hey, you guys, how about this idea? How about this idea? We give them to them. They're like, great, write it. So we wrote this, and then Broad Street contacted us like 2 weeks ago and said, hey, you have a
your advanced copies coming up.
And we're like, oh yeah, our book.
We kind of figured in the midst of COVID that might have gotten put on hold. But what this is, it's so easy to get stagnant in marriage. It's so easy to go dinner and a movie. What are we going to do for the date? Dinner and a movie. And so we put together 52 amazing, unique dates that are all different, and every one of them has a purpose. And so when you go on a date, for example,
I don't know if I can put it up there very close, but like this one's called Go Fly a Kite. So it's a kite flying date. And
which today would have been perfect because it was so windy.
It gives you lots of, information. How do you do a kite flying date? And we also have a code here. I'm trying to make sure I get it up here. Here at this rate. Ooh, let's bring your finger down, Laura. That has a lot of different symbols. And those symbols are whether it's going to cost a lot of money or a little money, whether it's going to cost a lot of effort or a little effort. This one is 2 on effort because you have to go buy a kite. Yeah. And flying a kite might take a little effort. Yeah. And then it's got a romance signal. Is it going to, instigate a lot of romance or just a little romance? So there's a lot of different ones you can go through and go, okay, tonight we don't really need a lot of romance. We don't really want to put a lot of effort. We just need to do something other than dinner and movie. And then on the second page, we have places where you can answer some questions. And then you can make some journal notes. And then we have a little story over here that kind of tells you about something that we think is a date. Like the purpose of this Go Fly Kite date is to bring joy into your marriage. And so we have a little story over there about bringing joy into your marriage.
And so it's just one of those things where it's a reference, it's a resource. So many couples tell us all the time, we get so bored in our date life that then we just kind of stop doing it.
We can't think of any new things to do.
Right. So dating is critical.
We've thought of them for you.
Staying.
Yeah, and that's what we say.
Keeping that date night alive is very, very important.
Michigan, we say that all the time. In the summer, it's easy for us to figure out something to do. In the winter, it's like, okay, we can go to the movies. We can go to escape room. That's a new one that we really enjoy doing.
Or go sledding.
We have that in here.
Yep, escape room. We got Top Golf.
Oh,
in the winter. You could go see the Lions lose in the winter.
We didn't put that one in there.
Go understand what it means to be tortured. Go watch the Lions
game live.
Romance.
A lot of effort to sit there
and a lot of
frustration. Yeah, a lot of money.
Get really creative in the wintertime. And it's even stuff like go bowling. You know,
Yeah.
it's not something I would do every week. I'm not going to join a bowling league, but I'll go throw a ball down an alley, you know, for
Just hang out,
fun
yeah.
with my wife, just for something different.
Yeah.
Give her an opportunity to beat me because she's ultra competitive.
I am. True story.
She's like, I am.
Yeah.
Like that one. Like that one. You know, so we'll
Yeah.
make sure to put the link because you can't get it just yet. December 1st actually is when it released. So viewers, today we'll make sure to drop it down below to give you an opportunity to go. You can do a pre-order, a pre-purchase, a pre-sale, so you can get there, get it before they're gone. Okay, there's only so much paper on the earth.
Right, great stocking stuffer, great Christmas gift to give to friends and family. Just a nice little gesture to say, hey, we care about your marriage.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. There's another thing too I know you guys have right now, and I really think, you know, after we went to your conference, I noticed that you guys were talking about this at the conference, and I thought it was really, really such a powerful thing right now because of COVID-19, because it's not easy to go out in person and connect. You guys are really stretching yourselves out and really saying, you know what, we can find another way to really make sure that we can help you grow. So I want to show everybody real quick a little bit about that. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Crazy in Love?
Yeah.
Well, this is an online series that you can watch live or you can watch on demand. Cool. And so we've made it that way because the people that watch live, they get to ask questions. We answer those questions on the night that we do this. And then if you aren't able to make it for whatever reason, you can still watch it on demand. And we've got 4 segments to it. The next segment that's coming up is called Crazy Talk. And it is a 4-week segment on communication, 8 simple words that will revolutionize your marriage. We interviewed over 1,000 couples, asking them, what do you need to hear from your spouse? And so we got 4 words that every man needs to hear from his wife and 4 words that every wife needs to hear from her husband. And these are powerful words, and yet they're so simple. So simple to just speak into the life of your spouse and really change your marriage. It's going to change your communication. It's going to change your intimacy. It's going to change your joy and how, I mean, you know, when you're communicating well in marriage, you know, that just brings a lot of joy.
And you guys are kind of fun to be around. So you have a way to really interact with you guys. And I love that because, you know,
she's fun to be around. I'm just the eye candy. That's all.
Hey, somebody's got to be there, right?
That's right.
That's us too. He's the eye candy.
Oh, man.
I'm just fun.
So
I'm mainly competitive just because I mainly just want to beat him. We can be we can be in a group of people and we're in the last 2 places and he's like, what are you getting so upset for? I'm like, I just want to beat you. That's it.
Story of my life right there.
That's right.
All right, so we'll make sure to drop down a link down below as well so everybody can know how to connect with you on that right now. Now, there's a couple different ways that people can connect with you. There's jayandlaura.com. Yeah. There's also Jay and Laura Laffoon that you can find them on Facebook. And then there's J. Laura Laffoon on Instagram. So that's a bunch of different ways we can connect. You guys have a lot of great stuff you put out, so we're really appreciative of that. We just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to connect with you. All right. So
sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea. All right, we have a few questions we'd like to ask you. You know, when it comes to our viewership, you know, people were always trying to wonder how we can take our faith, our family, and our future to the next level. In what way? Whether it's married couples, not married couples, maybe it's individuals, but nonetheless, we understand that it's all about continue to want to grow and become healthier and better as people. So I'll kick it right off with saying, what made you guys decide your 24.9 years ago to get involved helping couples?
Well, it was funny because we always dreamed of working together. That was our dream was that we would work together.
It's what we were both looking for
in a spouse.
In a spouse when we didn't know each other, was somebody to do ministry together with.
And we were in youth ministry, and I began speaking at a number of camps and conferences. And all of these camps and conferences in the winter usually do one weekend. It's a marriage weekend where, you know, they don't do kids, they do marriages. And so they started asking me, do you and your wife ever speak on marriage? And then, you know, of course, any entrepreneur, the answer is yes, of course, you better believe it, you know. Yeah. And so we did a couple of conferences, and we really, really enjoyed it because we were able to, you know, create new material, use our humor, use music, and we were like, man, this is really fun. And then again, God's providence, God's direction, a church said, hey, we're going to do a marriage retreat, at a hotel in Ludington, Michigan.
Mhm.
We'd like to ask you guys to come and speak, and we will pay all of your expenses, and we'll pay you $300 for the weekend. Well, back then, that was like, oh my goodness, we now have Christmas money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was just like, oh yeah, this is great. And we had so much fun doing it that on the drive home, we outlined our very first marriage book. That was in the spring. That next summer, I was speaking at a business conference on Mackinac Island, had the afternoon off, went for a walked by Grand Hotel, and at Sunday dinner with my folks, I just made the comment, man, if we could ever do our own marriage conference, I'd want to do it at Grand Hotel. Forgetting that my mother sat on a committee that did a women's event at Grand Hotel. And so she said, well, I'll just talk to Danny. Well, Danny is Dan Mustard, the president of the hotel. And that fall was, yes, he's the chairman. Anyway, that fall, they wined us and dined us up there. We said, we got to do this.
We got to do it at least once now.
Got to try. We did it
Yeah.
the first year. We begged and pleaded everyone we knew in the state of Michigan to come join us. Had 100 couples. We thought we'd be one and done. And they said, no, are you kidding me? This is fantastic. And that really was the seed that God planted in us, that marriage ministry is so important.
Yeah.
It's so critical to all of culture that maybe this is where he's leading us. And at the time, she was still in youth ministry. I was speaking full time in youth ministry, but we really saw God's hand moving us towards the marriage stuff. So,
And it's kind of evolved over those 25 plus years from, we did that one marriage retreat. We did some others. We did the conference at Grand Hotel. That's our flagship. That's what we have loved for 25 years. And then we kind of, based on economy and the Lord moving us in different directions, we also, before COVID hit, we were doing ultimate date nights all over the country, which what we basically did was take our conference and shrink it down into a 90-minute show. And we would do those at community theaters or at churches. And, that's
basically the cost of a movie ticket for the couples. So
that's been really fun too. And we look forward to that
doing that again.
coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming back. It'll come back.
It will. It
Wow,
will.
how exciting. It's amazing though to hear your story kind of roll out in our direction, because we can hear how God has just moved you, but the most important part about it is your obedience to it. You just stayed obedient to that, and it's really amazing how you're able to bless so many couples, with your own marriage. So it's
and I
awesome.
love that too, because that's something that him and I see that is needed is marriage conferences. Our church basically even has one marriage conference a year. It's at Lake Ann, and it's for a weekend. And really, that's it. I mean, there's a lot of men's Bible studies and women's Bible studies, which is needed. Men and women are different, but there's also marriage, to bring marriages together too. That's needed. And
Yes.
I love that you guys are doing that.
And you've got me now on my soapbox. So sorry.
Yeah.
Bring it.
If you ask any pastor, name me the 3 biggest issues you're dealing with in your church, 95% of pastors, one of those 3 will be marriage. Marriage is a big issue in our church. We've got an elder who just got a divorce. It's devastating the people in the church. I mean, stuff like that. And then you ask us, so what are you doing about it? Well,
we do a marriage event once a year.
Right.
That's usually exactly what they say. Instead of thinking of it as, we were on staff at a church for 3 years in charge of men's, women's, and marriage ministry, only, 10 hours a week, which was impossible to do. But that's the culture we were trying to develop, was that
a comprehensive look
yes,
at
you can
marriage.
have men, you can have women, but we need to have a marriage ministry because married couples need to connect with other married couples who want to improve and grow their relationship.
My father told me growing up, he said, Jay, you'll become the books you read and the people you hang around. So any church that's wanting to have healthy marriages, you need to get those healthy marriages together so that you can glean off of each other, encourage one another, pray for each other. And it doesn't have to be some big heavy thing. We would do couples game night where everybody brings a dish to pass and we play euchre or something like that. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Yes, our philosophy wasn't deep, sharing your deep, dark secrets as married couples. In fact, we did put together a program called Healthy Marriage, Healthy Church that churches can buy on our website as well. It's just basically hey, here's some ideas to do for the married couples in your church once a month. Hey, do a game night. It's not difficult. It's just that somebody has to take the lead and do it.
Yeah, you know, with the way that divorce is, I mean, Christy and I have a divorce under our belt, you know, and it's the world's getting to be more acceptable of people giving up. You know, this ministry that you have is needed more than it's ever been needed. I mean, it really honestly is to, like you said, just to have encouraging other couples that have good marriages just to be around. You know, you read your books, you be around your people. That's where your dad had it spot on. I mean, that's we need more of that. We honestly do.
Yeah, we do.
And one of the other things we encourage couples to do, our best friends are 15 years older than us. And we get together about once a week for therapy, what we call therapy, where we just hang out and we talk about life. It's nothing heavy. In fact, it's mostly laughter. But, you know, they're 15 years down the road past us. And so when we come into an issue in our marriage, they're like, hey, we had that same thing happen, whether it's our kids or the job situation.
Yes, basically, we just share, hey, this is what we've been doing this week. What did you guys do Monday night? We did this. Hey, blah, you know, and then you start getting into talking about your kids and your grandkids and all that. And then you just naturally share with each other ways that, oh, well, you know what, here's a good idea. Or, you know, usually I help them with their computer.
True story.
It's like a form of payment.
Well, and we've taught them, they never argued before they met us. We taught them how to argue. So that was good.
All kinds of value happening.
That's right.
So, you know, since you've been doing this for 25 years, what do you feel like today in comparison to 25 years ago when you guys began? What do you feel like the major struggles today in marriage really is?
I think 25 years ago, the world thought the computer was going to make our life less busy. And it's done just the opposite. It's made us more busy. We're more distracted. We're more disconnected because of electronics. Now, don't get me wrong. We couldn't do what we're doing right now and bless people without computers and electronics. But I truly believe 25 years ago, most people are like, oh, maybe we get down to a 35-hour work week or a 30-hour work week because of computers, and that just hasn't happened. And then you add in the fact that, you know, kids and gaming and you know, none of this is bad in and of itself, but it just piles on, and we get more and more distracted. We get more and more separated from each other because of that. So I would say for me, that's the big one.
Well, and I think we would both say the issues are the same. We talk about the big three: money, sex, and family. Those are the three issues wrapped up in the fact that men and women communicate differently. Those are the big issues in marriage. It's just it's fleshed out differently in this culture than it was 25 years ago. Just like the computer has added to the dysfunction of families, the iPads, the lack of face-to-face communication, all of those things. There was still disconnectedness 25 years ago. It just was different than it is now. And so, you know, I think the issues are the same. It's just magnified, fleshed out differently in this culture and magnified, and especially with COVID. I mean, now, we're together 24/7 as it is, but there's still sometimes with this going on, I'm like, just get out of my face. I just need to go sit on the porch because, you know, those kinds of things.
And those are the exact words she says. Just get out of my face.
The phones, though, are a big deal. Him and I, it's amazing. We watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, and it really hits home with a lot of this stuff. And him and I have talked about it. It's like we're now wired to be addicted to this.
Yes.
So, and of course we have the watches. So like him and I will catch each other. Like we'll be talking and then my watch will vibrate. And then I'm like,
yep.
You know,
I don't wear a watch.
No, but your phone.
Yeah.
And it's you're not as present anymore, like 100% focused, even when you're talking with one another. So we're not reached perfection with it. I mean, not even close, but we've had to make it to where we're aware of it. And we've allowed one another to say something to like, hey, I was talking to you. Oh, sorry. You know, and because we're ingrained with it now.
Our code word for that is we need to jump in the car. Now, not physically jump in the car, but for us, when we're traveling in our car, we tend to be focused on the same thing. And so, you know, when we're at our desk, we have a partner desk where we sit across from each other and, you know, she's working on social media and I'm writing our next blog. And it's like, we're in two different directions. We're trying to get things done. It's like, okay, wait, stop. Let's
We'll
jump
just-
in the
we'll
car.
blurt out too. Hey, I need your help with this. Well, I'm busy right now. I'm focusing, and so it becomes some big. Let's jump. He said last week, "Hey, let's jump in the car," and I totally missed what he was saying. I'm like, "Okay, good. Let's go to Hobby Lobby." I was like, "No, I need to get on the same page." I'm like, "Oh, you don't mean physically get in the car."
Let's get focused together here.
I love that. So powerful because
I do
Christy and I
too.
talk about, like, when we do take trips, even if it's like an hour or 2 hours,
To Mackinac.
whoever the passenger is doesn't get on their phone. So
No,
it's
out of
right.
respect.
so it's like we're stealing it. I'm just letting
Yeah.
you know. Like, in the car is now ours as well. So
Yeah.
you're sharing the
Hey,
car.
let's spread it across the country. It'll help marriages. That's for sure.
No,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Like, it's sad that when you mention, like, technology has changed and we expected technology to
Yeah.
treat us in a different way, but we've actually used technology. We always say to ourselves, like, our kids are so bad with their phones, but I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
right
we're
now,
worse.
we're way worse. We're like this when they're in the room, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like,
Our
I have to
kids-
really be conscious about it.
We have
Uh-huh.
4. His daughter's 24. She's married. And then his son is going to be 19 just in a few days. And then I have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. But my 18-year-old is a very talkative kid, and he's not scared to speak his mind. I don't know where he gets it at all. But he'll come up and be talking to us, and I'll be like this, and he will say, like, "Okay, Mom, like, I wasn't talking to you or nothing." And then I'm like, "Oh, like, I need to put my phone down." It's,
Right.
We're worse. We're actually worse.
We are bad.
Not with the gaming. We
Right.
don't game.
No, we don't. We game
No,
on
I
our
wouldn't
phone.
even know how.
No.
Just little games on our phone. So, but during COVID, since COVID has been, feels like for 40 years is what it feels like. What have you been able to do to help keep your marriage together, and healthy and not kill each other?
Besides going on the porch.
Besides porch,
Well,
porch and cars.
Seriously, when COVID hit and we thought it'd be a 1 or 2 month thing, we said, well, let's take up a new hobby. So we literally planted a garden for the first time in our marriage
Ever.
and so we had peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and onions.
Radishes.
So that was something that we were able
And then we pickled them all, and we just became.
we've become Amish.
That's what we said.
We've put up peaches, we've put up strawberries, we put up corn. I mean, so
We made tomato sauce. We've pickled
everything.
cherry tomatoes.
If it can be pickled, we've pickled it.
We've been doing a lot of baking. We love food shows. If your viewers are interested, or your listeners' viewers are interested, we do a show on Wednesday nights called Married Flavors. It's just a Facebook Live, so if you like our page, you'll get a notification. But we love to cook, and so yes, we have planted a garden, and yes, we've done all this stuff. I had a friend who gave me a sourdough
starter. I'm telling you, we're Amish. We made apple bread.
And then we watched the Great British Baking Show. And we love Food Network. So that's our nighttime TV as we sit down together and we watch a show. Yeah. But, we've just had to, the other thing we've done other than that is because before COVID, we traveled so much, there's some little stuff that doesn't get done around the house, stuff you would never think of doing. And so we made a little whiteboard on our refrigerator. And in fact, just today we went and we swept our basement floor and mopped it. Who does that? But we're like, hey, it was on the list. It's where our treadmill is. And so we were like, we might as well clean it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a long time now, maybe 15, 20 years, our summer date is golf. We both love to golf. So we never have a problem in the summer. What are we going to do for a date? We're going to go golfing and maybe grab a little bite to eat. And so, again, that's something we were able to do this summer. That season is probably come to a close here in Michigan. So we got to find another hobby. We thought about, well, no, I won't tell you because I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh, good. I don't know what he was going to say.
Mattress Olympics.
Our kids have handguns, and we do like to go to the shooting range.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
There's no indoor shooting range here near us. So it'd just be,
You come to Davidson.
Club, so it's like outdoors. So that's not a good winter time.
Yeah.
But we do have friends who they live in Ann Arbor, and there's a shooting range there, and they are in actually shooting leagues, which again,
wow.
that's a creative way to do something together as a husband and wife. I'm not making a gun statement here. I'm just saying, you could go do that as a hobby if you both like to shoot.
I might get better at it.
Yes, Laura.
Anybody ever breaks in our house, I'm just gonna kneecap them.
Yeah,
That's
'cause every
whenever I shoot it, it goes down.
She might need
I'm not
2.
ready.
No, we have Williams Gun Safe actually right here in Davison. It's a huge indoor gun range, and I mean it's a big deal. I mean even when you're driving by, you can hear the bangs.
Yeah.
I have my CPL, but he doesn't have his. But we want him to get one.
What I like though hearing from you guys is you're talking about things that you're coming up with that you make sure you do them together.
And it's fun.
And I love that. Like, you both love to cook. So you're like, you know what? Let's do something that involves cooking. We want to be Amish together. Let's be Amish together. Let's grow everything and then combine everything. But I think that's awesome. It's not like, Jay, you're not saying, hey, you know what? I like to golf, so I'm going to make sure that I go out and go golfing with my friends over here. No, we like to do these things together. And I think that's a missed theme a lot of times in marriages. It really honestly
We
is.
do
Even
everything
likes to
together.
Go to Hobby Lobby. I've got him liking to go to Hobby Lobby. It's kind of scary.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is this: when you do things together, you grow your marriage. And so many marriages, once they get married, it's like he's going to go do his thing, she's going to go do hers, and there's room for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you have to spend 24/7 together, but when you can find stuff to do together that you both love, we have good friends. They love to go camping together. So maybe 4 or 5 times. I know I'm the same way, Chris. But 4 or 5 times this summer, they'll take a weekend and they'll go camping. Again, great. That's your hobby and enjoy it.
And we don't always, you can't see it, but on the other side of this camera, that way, is a library that has chairs. And so lots of times, especially in the winter, we'll come up here at night and Jay will get his iPad and he'll read or play games. And then over to the other side here that you can't see is a painting table. I'm not good, but I love to try it. I watch YouTube videos and I follow it. And so
Bob Ross.
we're in the same room.
As long as there's numbers on
together. Yeah, as long as I've got paint by number, I'm good.
A Bob Ross special. Yes.
There you go.
But so we're not necessarily doing the same thing, but we're in the same room and, can still have conversation when he's playing his game and he says left, right, or center. And I'm like, center. And it gets him 60 cents on his stupid game he's playing, but whatever.
Wordscapes.
Ooh, yeah. I know that game.
Yes, she loves that game. So tell us a little bit about something exciting coming up for you guys. You told us about the book that's coming out. You told us about your online course that you guys are working through right now. What do you guys have exciting that's coming up in the future? Whether it's business related or personal related, anything.
Christmas.
Yes, Laura is a Christmas fanatic.
I am a Christmas fanatic, and now we have a grandbaby who at Christmas time will be 7 months old. So it's really, I'll give her a box. That's probably what she'll like the best. But, we're pretty excited about our first Christmas with a new grandbaby. That would be exciting.
Right. So what we've tried to do in the midst of COVID, because it really has severely altered our ministry. I mean, our ministry was about traveling the country and gathering people together.
Yeah.
Which does not happen.
Now the word is pivot.
Yeah, pivot. So we've been pivoting towards the online, and on a personal level for us, we're kind of saying, okay, Lord, this might be a really good thing because we're not gone every weekend, which means now we're going to be able to spend more time with our grandchild. And if the Lord wills that we make a living online, then that will be a wonderful thing because we will be able to still minister deeply to couples, still travel when we can once everything changes back to whatever normal is, but still be able to really invest in our granddaughter and in our kids. So
and investing in their marriage because we all know what it's like to be a young couple with a newborn. And they're bless their hearts, they're doing really good, but you just get tired. And so for us to be able to go, hey, we're going to come over this night and you guys go out on a date, we'll take care of Graylin. And so we're looking, that's been fun to be able to. We've only been able to do it once, but
so far
that's because of their schedules, not ours.
But as far as the ministry is concerned, we're really excited about growing the online presence. And much like you guys with this Couple on Fire podcast, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but to pursue it with excellence and to really teach top quality content is what we're after in our style, using fun and entertainment to do so.
Well, I tell you, from a user standpoint, from our side, The content that you guys give is invaluable. To be honest with you, when we signed up for, to come to Mackinac Island, actually, after we went, we're like, man, that was really cheap in comparison to what we got value-wise. And I know that we didn't even get half the value because of COVID, but, I was like, wow, this is really, I will do this as often as you have it. So, it's really appreciative on our end as a couple, so our viewers, if you guys have an opportunity to even connect with Jay and Laura, online, like, do it. Like, you will not be sorry that you do this. It'll be investing into your marriage is one of the greatest things that you can invest in. This is, a lot of times we get caught up when we have our kids at home and we, and things of this nature, and we find ourselves busy in that, but we don't find ourselves connecting the way that it needs to be. And then those kids grow up and leave because that's what they do, and then now we're left with what, we don't have the values not there and the connection is not there. So what you're offering us is just, it's invaluable. So,
because you need God too. Yeah.
Well, and what we try and convey to couples, and so many of them just have a hard time grasping this. You can either invest in your marriage and do prep work for your marriage, or it's going to eventually catch up with you, and you're going to suffer, the consequences of not doing preventative maintenance on your marriage. It's just like with your car. You don't change your oil for 10, 15,000 miles. You run the risk of ruining your car. You don't do things for your marriage on a regular basis. You run the risk of losing your marriage. And man, coming to a marriage conference that's fun at a place like Grand Hotel is way better than paying a counselor. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we try and convey to folks, is that this is something that you do because your marriage is worth it. And it is an investment. There's no question. But we do feel like the value we get more emails from people saying, our car ride home was one of the best things our marriage has ever experienced, because we reflected on the fun that we had, the romance that was there on Mackinac Island, and what we learned that we're going to take into our marriage as we move forward.
Yeah, I just love that too, only because, like we've said, him and I have been married before. So when we got together this time, we had sacrifices. You have to love each other sacrificially, and you have to put your pride down. You have to have your own individual relationship with God, and then put God at the center of your marriage. And a lot of people, and not I wouldn't say most, but there's a lot of people that don't understand. There's certain things, like if girls ask me to go do something, I'm like, there's certain things that we don't do. We always go to bed together. We've made these commitments to one another so that wedges don't start to be built. And that was why we decided to come, because of COVID. I personally haven't quit working, so I was still going to work every single day. And then our kids are in this precarious situation with school. And it just felt like a lot of pressure right now, a lot of different, like people are getting into depression. We have a recovery ministry that we run at our church on Thursdays, and that wears on you when people are struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts. And I'm like,
and substance abuse.
Yes. And we need to go do something. Like we haven't been able to go. I love going to the movies. He doesn't like it as much. He's willing to go with me, but we finally went to the movies as soon as it opened back up. I'm in the movie theater with my big thing of popcorn and I'm just like, I just love it. But we were like, we need to do something. It couldn't have been more perfect timing that you guys, and like I said, we're definitely going to be coming back. We had so much fun. Our friends had so much fun. The food is so good there. We like food.
We do.
So one of the questions we love to ask couples who are, why would I need to do this? Why would I need to invest in my marriage, whether it be listening to a podcast or reading a book or going on a date night kind of thing, is I love to ask this question. Do you love your kids?
Yeah.
And none of them are going to say, well, no. Well, do you know what the University of Chicago and the University of Minnesota have discovered? These are two secular universities. These aren't little Christian colleges.
Right.
They've discovered that the number one thing you can do for your kids is that they know that mom and dad are still in love.
Yeah.
So showing affection in the kitchen. Hey, mom and dad are getting away for a romantic weekend up to Mackinac Island. Because what it does for
mom and dad are going out for a date.
Mom and dad are going out for a date. what it does for your kids is it gives them security. It lets them know that our home is safe, that our family's safe, and psychologically, physically, emotionally, there's so many benefits for the children. And so you're not doing this just for your marriage. There's a ripple effect into your kids, even if your kids are, out of the house. They still see that. It's a role model for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget our daughter's senior year of high school. Our anniversary is December 7th.
That's
8th.
our son's birthday.
Our December 8th. I was just kidding. December 8th. And we always take a little trip to Chicago.
Over the years, we've made a habit
little weekend in Chicago. Well, it was her senior year. She was really involved in way too much, really busy. We were saving money for graduation and for college, and so we didn't go. She jumped down our throats. She was like, "Are you kidding me?"
She was like, "What are you guys doing here?" It didn't dawn on her until it was like December 8th. She's like, "Why are you here?" Well, because we live here.
And so
why are you here? Why are you not away on your trip? It was
so you ingrain those kind of things in your kids, and they see it, role modeled. It's just a good thing for them to understand.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so as we wrap up our episode here, we talk about taking our faith, our family, and our future to the next level. If you had one single piece of advice together, one single piece of advice to give to our viewers, what would it be, and why would you give this piece of advice?
15 minutes.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
15 minutes of uninterrupted conversation every day. And now the men are going, "Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?" Fellas, it's really quite simple. All you have to do is sit down, put your device away, and say, "Honey, tell me about your day." And what it does for your wife is it makes her feel honored and valued, and that you really care about what she cares about. And what that does for you, sir, is it's potentially going to get you lucky that night. Okay. So
you don't do it for that reason.
Don't do it for that reason, but that is a potential benefit. Okay. But seriously, that 15 minutes of uninterrupted conversation. Now, if you have little ones, you're gonna have to do it while they're asleep. If you have older ones, you're gonna have to, tell them to leave the kitchen or wherever you're gonna do that. But that 15 minutes of uninterrupted conversation keeps you on the same page. And guys, you don't have to be a great conversationalist to say to your wife, "Tell me about your day."
But you do have to listen.
And then listen, And most guys, if they're not hungry and there's no device in their hands, they can listen. And you'll be surprised how much that simple thing will be the glue in your marriage.
That was one of the things. I'm so glad you guys said that, because it's so true. That's one of the things that he was doing for me, and I didn't even realize it. Like he works for our church. He's the technology director at the church, and I work full time out in the world. And I'd come home from work, and without even realize it, he does all the cooking. He's an amazing cook. So he'd be in the kitchen cooking, and I'd sit down taking my shoes off, and he would say, "Tell me about your day." And I would go on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
More than 15 minutes.
And then all of a sudden I'd be all done, and I'd feel like, and then I'm like, "Oh, how was your day?" And he listened to everything. And this went on for years before I even realized what he was doing. And it's so refreshing for me as the female. It meant a lot to me that he cared enough to care, about what was going on with me.
Yeah.
I love that. 15 minutes is doable. And I
is.
think the 15 minutes is a place to start. And it gets easier over time because you start to understand and see the actual value from it, So that's an invaluable piece of advice. So
it's so
good.
simple. It's so simple. And anybody can do it.
Doesn't cost anything but time.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that's what I love about you guys is you guys bring the simplicity to marriage. Is hard work, but it's because of the simple things that get so overlooked, or people are just are the small little compromises. And that's what I love is you bring it back to the foundational, just simple things that make it easy. Couples don't feel like they have so long to go to get there. It's like, oh, just these little things like your date night book. I mean, it is amazing.
Our goal is to help busy couples stay happily married for life.
Yeah.
I don't know many couples who aren't busy,
Yeah.
even retired couples say they're busy. Well, we got a doctor's appointment Monday and Tuesday we got to go grocery shopping. So,
Yeah.
But helping busy couples stay happily married for life is what we want to be about. And most of the time, the simple things work. One of the illustrations I love to use, and I'll quit talking because I just ramble on. Computers.
No, you're fine.
Computers use binary language, ones and zeros. That's all. Ones and zeros. You can't get any simpler than that. And yet using ones and zeros, computers do what? Amazing things. And so it is those simple things in marriage that will help your marriage become amazing.
I love it.
We really want to thank you guys for your time today. It's been an invaluable bit for us, and I'm sure for our viewers and listeners as well. So we just really want to thank everything for you guys are doing. Okay, you guys just keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to show one more thing here to everybody. Don't forget, you can go on, you can pre-order the book. Make sure you get on there before December 1st, and then also hop on their website. You can sign up now for Crazy in Love. It is in process right now, so you can climb on anytime.
And they cook on Wednesdays.
Yeah. Make sure you go, Jay and Laura Laffoon. You can see it right on the screen. Go to their Facebook page, and you can find that today. So again, thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Man, was that an exciting interview? We absolutely love Jay and Laura Laffoon. That was probably one of my most favorites.
I love them. And they're so funny.
They are. And authentic.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah, if you didn't get an opportunity, make sure you go down back in the comment section. I put a couple links in there, one for Amazon for the book if you want to pre-order it. Also, they have their Crazy in Love course that they're doing right now. It's cheap, folks. Believe me or not. It's the amount of value that this couple is offering. I even told them afterwards, I spoke to them afterwards anyway. So I told them, though, that their conference that they had, I feel like was really underpriced in comparison to the value that you get for being there. So
and that wasn't for them to raise their prices. Okay,
No.
Jay and Laura. Okay.
Yeah, right. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Do me a favor, do us a favor, help share this episode. Really, let's make sure that that this value that goes around about how to really hold together a good, healthy marriage, it's really important. And there's so much value in that we get this out and push it out and show other people. It's not about just me, it's about we. And with the way that the world is, we have to make sure that we're focusing on each other in our marriage. And we work on ourselves, but we also work on each other. And I really believe that's a big misstep in society today.
Yeah, I love doing things together. I love going to marriage conferences together. I love doing this podcast together.
Yeah.
I want to do everything together.
So
maybe not.
Find out everything.
I can think of a couple things.
Hey, we want to thank everybody for being here. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.